All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we all know Brock Purdy didn't have his greatest game this past Sunday against the Ravens. I mean, we all expected him to have some trouble. I mean, this is the best defense in the entire NFL, so it wasn't all going to be perfect. But we for sure didn't expect him to go in there and throw 4 interceptions. But the problem I have with this is everyone's running away with it and saying he's a system quarterback, he's a fraud. So I wanted to break down the game and see how bad he actually played, because I think people are taking it way out of proportion. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. All right, Brock Purdy against the Ravens. To be honest, he still made a lot of high-level throws in this game, but obviously he made some bad throws at the same time that covered up those good throws, and the Ravens took advantage of pretty much every bad throw that he threw. But I wanted to start it off with a good play here to show that Brock Purdy still was making some throws that we're used to seeing. And on this first play, all we got is a glance or a drift post by George Kittle. We're going to motion Debo into right here. We're going to have Debo come out and run a corner, and we're going to have this guy on the outside come out and run an out route. And all Purdy's looking at is 1 to the post and then 2 to this smash concept high-low. And as you're going to see right here, motion Debo in, snap the ball, and what you're going to see happen, George Kittle gets inside leverage on that safety. Purdy sees it, releases the ball right on George Kittle's face mask, and then George Kittle goes and gets some crazy yardage after the catch, like he does pretty often. Watching it from this angle, what I like to see here is that he does look in rhythm. He doesn't look nervous. He doesn't look scared. He looks like he always does. Watch it right here. Snap the ball. 1, 2, 3. Hits his back foot. Right when he hits his back foot, no hitch, no hesitation, ball. Right on the face mask. Right on the money. Allows for some big yardage after the catch. Now, what I will say, though, on this next play, it's another big chunk completion, but it's not usually how Brock Purdy does it. So all the 49ers are running here. Debo's going to come in and have a hitch here, and Kittle's going to switch release with him and come out and run a deep dig, and all Purdy's looking at is high-low, depending on what this guy does right here. Drops back with the dig, take the hitch. Sits on the hitch, take the dig. It's a pretty easy read. And usually when the 49ers run stuff like this, Purdy's hit the back foot, get the ball out with great anticipation. But right here, he doesn't really do that for some reason. So he's going to hit his back foot. Usually that ball is coming out right now, and it's going to be on Kittle's face mask. But for some reason, Purdy's hesitant. I'm not exactly sure why. Drifts away a little bit from this pressure he feels and then throws it, and it ends up being a little late. You're going to see what I mean from this angle right here. He kind of just holds onto the ball, and this is something that you don't see very often from Brock Purdy. So he's sitting back there. He's kind of just holding it, and then letting it go. When usually, you can see from this angle, I'll pause it whenever he would usually release it. Boom, ball out. He would be releasing this ball right now because this guy's already committed. And if you throw this ball right here, there's no way he's getting it to it. George Kittle catches it in stride, and he probably scores if we're just going to be completely honest. But he was late, but it was still a completion, so it's not a big deal. But this comes up later to why he ends up throwing an interception. And when I'm talking about later, I'm talking about this play right here. So all the 49ers have right here is they have George Kittle right here running an out, and they have Juszczyk coming off the line of scrimmage and cutting it back across on a slant. And it looks like Purdy looks there first, so he's reading the flat defender on this side to throw whichever one that comes open. But the issue here is that this corner sits in this flat, which makes Purdy think must be cover 2, because if this corner sitting, this safety has to be getting over the top, and he has a seam on the back side that should be open because it's cover 2, so the middle of the field should be open. But the issue with this is there's nothing pushing this guy this way with a vertical route, so he can just sit in this area right here and kind of play this ball still. So if you're going to throw that seam, it has to be out early so this guy can't get to it. But the issue, like I said on the previous play, he gets the ball a little bit late here, and that's why it's an interception. So he looks here. You don't like that. It's muddy. You got to come back to your seam right now a little bit faster than you do. Come back to it. The ball's got to be getting released now if you're going to throw this. If he releases it now and puts it right here, it's probably a touchdown. But since he waits a tick longer, it allows that safety to see his eyes. This safety sees Brock Purdy look this way, so he drives on this seam, and it ends up being an interception because Purdy doesn't have the strongest arm ever. Not having a strong arm has never been an issue for Purdy because he throws the ball with perfect timing and perfect anticipation. But when you don't throw with perfect anticipation and perfect timing, stuff like this can happen right here. So watch Purdy's eyes. Looks over there, sees the corner dropping on it, comes back. You got to be releasing the ball right now if you're going to throw that. You got to keep him high and put it right here. You can't drift him towards this safety over here. And I know he thinks this safety is going to be drifting this way because it's cover 2, but there's nothing pushing him vertical, which leaves him to be able to make a play. And this ball placement, if he would have just got it out a little bit earlier and put it more high, I think it would have been a touchdown. But because it was late and he flattened Debo out, it was picked off by Kyle Hamilton. Just a rough play. Next play here, it's another interception. It's his second of the night. All that happens, the 49ers know right here that this guy's coming. Debo knows, Brock Purdy knows, they're on the same page. So what they're trying to do right here is they're trying to just get Debo on a little smoke screen right here, and this guy blitzes to replace him because this guy's going to come over the top to try to take his spot. And if Debo catches this and he's just one-on-one with this guy, and all he has to do is make him miss for a pretty big gain. But as we all know what happens, the ball gets tipped. The 49ers initially have a run play going, but when they see this blitz, they shake it to the smoke screen, like I said, and doesn't turn out the greatest. You get back there like you're going to run it. This guy sees the screen right when Purdy stands up from the run. He sits on it. He's going to jump up, tip the ball in the air, and they just make a great play to pick it off. Just tough luck right there. This is for sure not a play that I would pin on Purdy at all. This is just a great play by the defense. I like the idea of checking that to replace him, actually, so I wouldn't blame this on Purdy at all. Next play here, the Niners are just running a simple out with a corner on top. So just a simple smash concept, and up top they're just running a go and an out. You can take whichever side you want. Purdy wants to throw this high-low right here. But the Ravens just honestly do a great job at covering it all up while at the same time sending pressure, which is obviously going to make it hard on the quarterback. But Brock Purdy right here, I do like the fact that he's able to create something out of nothing. Maybe he's doing a little bit too much here. Just get rid of the ball, live to fight another down. But right here, you throwing this to Kittle, it's just too much of a risk in my opinion, especially with the situation you're in this game. I understand you're trying to make something happen. I understand fully. But right here, is Kittle really open enough to throw that? Is he really open enough to throw that, especially across your body? The number one thing a quarterback coach will tell a quarterback to never do is to float the ball over the middle of the field and to throw the ball back across your body to the other side of the field. And we've seen Purdy a few times throw it across the field and it turn out well, but this right here is why you don't do that, because it takes so long to get to the receiver that DBs are able to make a play on the ball just like that, and it ends up being another tipped pick. So while this might be kind of unlucky, I would probably blame this interception on Purdy for just doing too much, and he's just doing the one rule that quarterback coaches have, which is to never throw the ball across your body. Maybe Kittle could come back a little bit more and use his hands to catch that, but either way it goes, I just think it's too much risk right there to do that. And then finally, the last interception that Brock Purdy threw, is it on him? Let's find out, and you tell me what you think. All the 49ers are running. Go by Debo. If you like it pre-snap, take it. You don't like it here because they're in quarters. So then you come to your second option, which is Ayuk running a slant right here. And then on the backside, you have Juszczyk getting out on a wheel to clear everything out. You have Kittle here on like a drift post. And then you have Christian McCaffrey getting motioned out as a check down. Lastly, coming right here where you can high-low this right here after you look at Ayuk. So to kind of explain it, just one here, and then you come here to your high-low to the drift post down to CMC. The first thing I'm going to critique about this play is Brock Purdy. You're looking at the slant Ayuk. Boom, it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. Usually trust this, and I believe usually he would throw this. He would put this right here on Ayuk. Ayuk would catch it and fall down for a 7-yard, 8-yard gain. That's what would usually happen. But for some reason, he's been flustered throughout the game, and I think he's just kind of flustered in this moment. He's a little bit scared about what he's going to throw because he's thrown those 3 interceptions. He doesn't want to throw another one. But I think this, boom. Ayuk 1 off Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton, his hips are turned this way. There's no way he's going to undercut this, get here, and pick that off. There's no way this linebacker from 5 yards away is going to come pick off a ball right here if you throw it with anticipation like he usually does. But he doesn't like that, so he comes back to CMC, which is fine. I like the read to CMC. He's coming here. He's going to catch it for a decent gain probably. But the issue, his right tackle gets absolutely killed, gets his throwing arm hit, makes a bad throw come out, and leads to another interception. Should he have thrown the first guy to Ayuk? Yes, but if you didn't like it, I'm fine with coming off of it. I'm fine with the decision to CMC as your second right here. Come to CMC. The ball maybe could have got out a little bit earlier, so you didn't take this hit. But let's watch this right tackle right here against 98. Just get he gives you nothing right here. gives you absolutely nothing. Piss poor effort. Gets bullied by 98, just throws him off of him, gets hit, and the right tackle causes the interception here. So I would blame this half and half on Purdy. So overall, let me just say this. Purdy came out of the gate, didn't look terrible, but he didn't really look like himself. He looked a little bit uncomfortable, I would say. He wasn't throwing with as good of anticipation as he usually does. He looked to be questioning himself a little bit more than usual. And as the game went on and he threw 1, threw 2, threw 3 interceptions, I saw that questionableness keep getting worse and worse, and he really wasn't trusting what he was seeing, which is what led to him playing even worse at the end of the game. So do I think this is the true Brock Purdy? No, I do not. I think he's going to come out against Washington next week, absolutely light them up, and look like his usual self. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. I think he just had a bad game like any other quarterback, and I think people are kind of just overreacting about it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know in the comments below how you feel about how Brock Purdy played in this last game. And hit that subscribe button while you're down there. And until next time, I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.